Hey guys, we hope all is well and thank you for tuning in to KKTV. On today's episode, Mike and I will be showing you the installation process on Nitrous Outlet's new plug-and-play harness. We will be installing this harness on a 1989 Nissan 240SX, but this harness is applicable for any chassis. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's get started. Alrighty guys, so Mike is going to be walking us through each and every page of this installation guide. This is for the X series. Basically the whole idea of this harness is to cut installation time in half. This is the X series stage 2 plug and play wiring harness, which was designed to provide a quick and easy solution for the do-it-yourselfers. This harness is user-friendly and can be used by beginners or pros alike. The end result is a professional-built harness that will simplify system installation, saving you time, and voila. This basic harness provides everything needed to wire in an X-Series nitrous system, purge kit, bottle heater, and watt switch. What is a watt switch? A watt switch is wide open throttle. So essentially what's gonna happen is this is gonna go on the back of the pedal, and every time I stomp that mother sucker, it's gonna go blowing nitrous outlet sauce all through my KA. We'll see what happens. So if you notice here, we previously had the WinMax controller in the car. Nitrous Outlet wanted us to do an installation video on the stage 2 plug and play harness, which is just the wide open throttle switch. So in the meantime, we will be showing you how to install this harness with the wide open throttle switch. And then they will be sending us a new harness, which we will be installing in this car again, that is designed for the WinMax controller. Basically the difference is, like I was saying, when you push on the throttle all the way down, wide open throttle obviously, it clicks that button and engages the relay, spraying nitrous, and the WinMax controller has it to where it plugs into the TPS, I believe, and you can control it through your RPM gauge. Think of like VTEC on a Honda. You can have it spray, like this car was designed to spray from 2,500 RPMs all the way up to 6,500 RPMs. So I personally enjoy this one, but this one is more cost effective for someone that's trying to save more money. And to me, they both provide the same outcome. Nitrous, baby. All right, let's get started. Alrighty guys, so if you see here, this is what you would typically get from Nitrous Outlet when you ordered a kit. We already have this stuff semi-installed, so we will not be showing all of this, but this was our final outcome. And let me tell you, did you know 98% of drifters never actually go back and finish their wiring jobs? It's always, oh, I just want to make sure it works first. I'll go back and finish it. They never do. Let me tell you, that statistic is obviously made up, but let's face it, we all have those projects that we never truly go back and tidy up. So Nitrous Outlet provided us with a solution to this problem. A full plug and play wiring harness. Look at this. So clean, the relays, everything's just loomed. Not only will this provide a very clean look, which I really will enjoy because mine was a rat's nest. This harness is also, again, plug and play, which provides the consumer with an easy and simple installation. So again, don't forget to like and subscribe, and we're gonna get started this time.
What's up guys? Of course the first step is always disconnect your negative, because when you're dealing with electronics, the last thing you want to do is shock yourself or fry the electronics. So we're going to disconnect that, put this wing nut back on it, and while we're back here, I'm going to make sure his valve is closed on his nitrous bottle before I take off the purge and nitrous cylinder. So that is done. Always make sure, because if you're like me, you got off the track, left the bottle open, gone on about your life, and went to go change the jets or something, and a little bit of nitrous came out. So, the next step I'm gonna do here is actually take them back off so I can wire the Deutsch connectors, hopefully I said that right, off the car because I feel like it'd be easier to work with them off. We're gonna take both fuel, nitrous, and purge off. We're gonna connect the female side of the connectors on there, and which will actually plug right into our harness. And then we'll mount back on the car, and then we're gonna figure out where we're gonna mount our harness relays, which is the next step. So take your time figuring out your routing of the actual cylinders. Ours is pretty simple, right on top of the KA one, and then right into the intake right there. That's probably gonna take you a good hour, because it took us, if you flash back to the first time we installed it, I think it actually took us a good bit of going back and forth on where we're gonna put it. And on our nitrous direct port car, we put them in an actually different spot. But there's no right or wrong. It's whatever you want. It's whatever easiest for you, and whatever's easiest for you to change the jets on and deal with. So we're gonna continue on with the wiring portion here now. So I'm gonna grab my tools, disconnect these lines, and move over to our table and wire it up. Now that the bottle's been disconnected, and we know we're not gonna get any nitrous burns, because that stuff is cold, we're gonna disconnect the feed line from this nice little block here. And then we're gonna disconnect this one to the actual lines to go to the intake. Get those out the way, nice and safely. Remove our wires, which we already did. If you want to cut back to that, and bam. Unscrewing how we mounted it. As you said, your setup might be different. Drop that bolt. Boom. Here it is. Here is our nitrous, our purge, and our purge line. He went for the sauce going out the window, but as we just said, your setup might be different, so you might want to route it out the front bumper like we've done on previous cars, or just, doesn't really matter. Choice is yours. Always. That's the best thing about these kits. Alright guys, now to my favorite part, the wiring section of this. Now, Nitrous Outlet was kind enough to actually give you step-by-step instructions on how to do this. Now, if you don't have the special tools for your connectors, they say you can carefully be done with some needle noses. But today we have the special tools, and if we have time, I will try to do it with some needle noses, but it looks like they only gave us one shot, so we most likely will not be doing it with the needle noses. So, the first thing is to find our nitrous and fuel male side, and what we're going to be doing is grabbing our nice, neat, and organized nitrous outlet connector. You get everything out of there. See, there was something in there. Oh, still a few more items there. See? You don't want to think you're missing anything because they do make sure you got everything. Boom. So we got one for the purge, one for the nitrous, and one for the bottle heater if I'm correct. So let's double check that. That'll be for the nitrous. This one's for the purge. And I'm pretty sure there's gonna be one in the very back of the harness, right back here. Let's see what this one is. Yep, for the bottle heater. So they're pretty much giving you everything you need. And this one's actually for the pressure sensor, which does not use a connector. These just plug right into this. It's too easy. So, if you're wondering why you have three things, that is why. What we're actually about to do right now is we're gonna mock this into the car to get our lengths before we actually crimp this to our fuel and purge solenoids, just because I'm pretty OCD about excess wire and I want to get it just right. So now we're gonna just grab the harness and see where we want to put it in the car. Here we are. Next section of the whole install is running your harness through the firewall. We had to turn the wheel a little bit, don't be shy. On this car, luckily, there's an easy little access hole here from the rest of the harness. And we're just gonna keep shoving all these wires through. What wires we're putting through is the wires to the switch panel, wires to the bottle heater, and wires to the wide open switch are going through right now, which leaves our relay box up here instead of in that corner over there. So it's always good to run through and check before you actually commit to wiring, because we almost made a very easy mistake, which I've done a million times in the past, is just go ahead and start crimping wires and thinking that's it, and I go to install it and it's either too short or too long. So to avoid that, just go ahead and run the harness through and mount it in the car. So now I'm gonna pull the rest of it through. Oh yeah, fast. Boom. So this is actually pretty perfect, because if you come down here and you can see our viewers, the wide open switch conveniently is perfect length to our pedal right there. It really doesn't get any better than that, and I have not modified this at all. This is right out the box, just like that. And then we have the rest of this harness right here, which is our switch panel, which my brother has a perfect location and install idea for that when we get to that segment of the video. But this, we're gonna tuck behind the carpet, behind the back seat, and just to give you all a quick idea of what this may look like when it's done, and for the lengths. Plenty of room, but remember you're gonna tuck it through, so you're gonna lose some of this length. Bam. So in the end, I think it's gonna be perfect length, nice and clean without a lot of exposed wire. At Klutch KKTV viewers, and now, since we've got the harness mocked up in there, we have our NOS and our fuel one, and then we have our purge one. So what I'm doing right now is just mocking this up right here. I'm gonna start with the purge, which are these two wires here. As you can see, a bunch of excess. Our idea here is we're gonna have the actual lines for these come along the seam of the firewall back behind these lines. We're gonna have them kind of just come out right here. So what I need to do is grab my two purge lines right here, kind of get an idea on length. So I need to probably cut this one about right there. Like I said, your application's probably gonna be different, and it's also user preference. On ours, I like a little bit of extra wire, but not too much, in case we do decide to change the location of our solenoids. But for right now, we're gonna cut off that much of the bunny ear. It does look like a bunny ear. And we shall begin. I'll make sure you have the right ones. So these are for sure my purge ones. Make them nice and neat. The bunny ear. And you're just gonna, there's no going back, guys. That is it. Now, also given us this nice loom. Go ahead and prepare that. Slide this loom across this bare wire here. I'm gonna cut that right here. Now you can use scissors or whatnot. I like to use my snips. They work out great. And I'm gonna slide that down the rest of the way. Boom. You just strip it to about there, which they have described. Don't be discouraged if you don't have these exact tools I have. You do not have to have these. You can do it with a simple pair of dikes. You can use a lighter. Or just your normal Harbor Freight snips work just as good. Make sure it passes the pull test there. I'm pulling on it, I'm pulling on it. It's not coming out. Oh, it came out. That's why you do the pull test. The pull test again. This one's good. Imagine that. All right, now that you've crimped it together, you're gonna do a nice little pull test. It's not coming out. This one's good. I've seen in the previous blooper, if it's not tight enough, it'll actually pull out, and that's what you don't want. We're just gonna easy as that. You hear that? That clicking sound is what you want. Once you hear the audible click, you can give it a pull test. It's in there like that. As you can see, we're ready to go on to the next one. Once again, good pull. Now, this can be done with needle noses, as I said in the instructions, and it's pretty straightforward. So if you were gonna do it with needle noses, which I'm not actually gonna do because I don't have another one to replace this with, what you're gonna do is these little ends here, you're just trying to get them fold over the wire as shown. So if you're very careful, as they say in the instructions, it can be done, but it's always easier if you have the right tools. And this can be bought at any wire supply, Harbor Freight, or milspecwiringsupplies.com is where I got mine. Makes the job a lot easier. Same with these strippers. And these are just your local Harbor Freight snips and needle noses. You don't have to have everything, but it does make it easier to have the right things. And same way, the crimp going upwards, slide it in and wait till you hear the click and you're good. Now these can easily be depinned if you want to put some heat shrink on the end of these to clean up your wiring, but we'll wait to that to the very end, make sure everything works, and actually go back through and clean it up later. Or if you're ruthless, you'll leave it like this, or don't even put the shrink on it. It's up to you. It's a universal application. There's no right or wrong. All right, now when you want to do the heat shrinks on the end of the wires, you see these little tabs here. Very simple. You're gonna lift up on them, pull on the wire on the back. As you lift up on it, as you can see, it comes out. Now, you can run your heat shrink over that, and that's it. And it goes in the same way. They're super easy to work with, and I recommend these connectors. This can be done with a paper clip if you don't have the tools, or a pick like I'm using. I'm not actually using the correct tool for this, but it's as easy as that.
Hey guys, we'd like to take this commercial break to once again thank Nitrous Outlet for joining us for the Klutch Kickers $100,000 Drift Series. This year it'll be at the Freedom Factory for season 3. Nitrous Outlet has been a tremendous support for our program for the several years. And this year it's going to be even more exciting because they will be at the events this year with their big 50 by 20 rig setup, supporting the drivers by filling nitrous, and they will have their mascot spreading the fast sauce gospel to the thousands of fans in the stands. It's going to be really exciting. Guys, Nitrous Outlet, thank you again. You guys are the best. Thanks for watching. All right, guys, so the next step is going to be to find a mounting location for your switch panel. This is also another one of those things that is totally user decision, whatever you would like to do. I like to keep as street, OEM style as I can, so I want to maintain my factory radio, or not factory radio, but maintain my radio. So I'm thinking I am going to mount it right here, which I think will look pretty clean and sleek. So what I'm going to do is pull this out, get the Dremel tool, and get it ready, get it mounted so we can do some final wiring and get this puppy on the road. All right, so I'm thinking somewhere right here. I'm going to Dremel out a little slit through here, and then drill out some holes and have it slide in there. It should sit pretty flush, pretty clean. If you do stuff like this, just make sure that your shifter, any moving components that you need when you drive aren't going to be in your way. I think this is going to work out good, so I'm going to go ahead and pull it out. Again, this is all you as the driver and installer. All up to you what you would like to do, but I think it's going to look clean right here. Alright guys, now that we have completed the step of figuring out where we wanted to locate our switch panel, it is time to plug in the wires on the back. So what you want to do here on this step is wherever your wiring harness is that has, your bottle heater, your arm, and your purge little things, Nitrous Outlet was kind enough to label everything for you. Wherever you decided to mount your switch panel, you want to run your wires in a neat, tidy way, however you want to do it. So since we did it in the radio location, we're just pulling the wires through right here. And we will obviously tuck them back so we can still keep the radio. And then we are going to plug and play.
Next step here is going to be the wide open switch. Pretty simple. On the actual wiring harness, you have 2 leads, and they both go right here. And when this is pressed down by your pedal, it connects the circuit, which sprays these solenoids. So what we're going to do now is go in the car and see what we're dealing with the pedal. As simple as I thought it would be. Thanks to this amazing harness, labeled right there. Boom. Now, we just have to mount this thing under here. You hear that click, guys? Something like that. Since this is a universal kit, there's a million ways you could do this. Mount it to the floor. But what you want is that click at full throttle. Boom. Well, this is quite embarrassing, guys. What we're doing here is removing our old setup here. Because we're actually gonna fix what we had going on. We no longer need that because we're gonna route this one, not from this side anymore, but from this side, our new bottle heater harness. So now that we already have our connectors on the bottle heater, we're gonna go grab that, wrap that around the bottle. Should be on the table, guys. Now, since we're already got our connectors on there that we did earlier, we're just gonna test fit this because we still have to route this through the interior, which we're gonna fold the back seats back. But in the meantime, just gonna loop this little guy around. All right. And it's honestly as easy as that. I mean, it doesn't really get any better. I'm a logo out kind of guy, and you don't have to follow that rule, but what we're gonna do is grab our connector. Boom. That's in.
Alrighty guys, and there you have it. Thanks to Nitrous Outlet and their plug and play harness, I am no longer embarrassed to pop my hood. Thank you, Nitrous Outlet. With that being said, on the next episode, we will be doing the WinMax controller installation, as well as doing some testing with the Nitrous hooked up. So be sure to like and subscribe, and thank you, Nitrous Outlet, and thank you guys for tuning in to KKTV. Catch you later. All right. Fuck, I just went blank. I've been practicing it too much. All right. On today's episode, Mike and I will be showing you the installation process on Nitrous Outlet. Take 2. Mike and I will be showing you the installation process. Better you than me, bro. That's like my intrusive thoughts just come from it. That's our cheese. All right. On today's episode. All right. On today's episode, woo! Hey guys, we hope all is well and thank you for tuning in. Says on Nitrous Outlet's new fucking sick plug and play harness. Hello, what's going on? Action.
Your bottle is disconnected, right? It passes the pull test there. I'm pulling on it, I'm pulling on it. It's not coming out. Oh, came out. I'm starting to sweat under the pressure.
The pull test failed. Just like,
my face is just like, if you don't put the Pikachu emoji next to it.
like make it look super professional as we got it, and then at the end it'll just be like funny.
That's all I pictured in my head was the Pikachu. All right, we're doing it all today. Most of this section is just gonna be me sitting at my happy table, doishing it up. Nice. What do you know about that? In your face.
Your trim, but for now it's time to go to the next step, which is something. Alrighty guys, and there you have it. The Nitrous Outlet harness is installed and ready to go. I fucked up. Take two. Take two. All right.